How do you show faith in a way people actually feel? It is a question that should stop us. It should make us pause, right here in the middle of our busy day. We say the words. We say, "I love you." We say, "God loves you." We say, "I care." But do our lives speak the same language as our mouths? Is our faith something that can be touched? Is it something that can be felt in the real, hurting world? One word comes to mind, a word that changes everything: neighbor. This is not just an idea. It is not a concept to be debated or a sermon to be heard. It is an action. It is a person. 3 practical ways to live neighbor love and a weekly service challenge you can do. There are words in the Bible that feel like they should be written on our hands, so we never forget them. 2 of these passages guide us. They are like a compass for the soul. They point us toward a life of active love. They show us the way home. They are not complicated. They are not hard to understand. But living them out, that is the journey of a lifetime. And it is a journey we can start this very week, with the smallest of steps. The first verse is from the book of Luke. It is found in chapter 10, verse 27. Jesus is asked what is most important. He answers with this: "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself." Love God, love your neighbor. He puts these 2 things together. They are connected, they are inseparable. You cannot have one without the other. Loving God is shown by how we love the people He has placed right beside us. Our love for Him is not just a vertical thing, reaching up to the heavens. It is also a horizontal thing, reaching out to the person next door. The second verse comes from the Old Testament prophet Micah. In chapter 6, verse 8, he asks a powerful question. What does the Lord require of us? The answer is beautifully simple. It is not about grand sacrifices or elaborate rituals. It is about 3 things: do justice, love mercy, walk humbly. These are not passive ideas. They are active verbs. They are things we do. Justice is about making things right. Mercy is about showing kindness when it is not deserved. And walking humbly is about remembering our place before a great and loving God. These 2 verses are not just suggestions. They are a calling. They are a roadmap. They show us how to live a life that matters, a life where our faith is not just a private belief, but a public action. They challenge us to look beyond our own needs and wants. They ask us to see the world through God's eyes, to see the people He loves, and to love them too. Not just with our words, but with our hands and our feet, with our time and our resources, with our very lives. We all want to be loving people. Deep down, in the quiet places of our hearts, we hold this desire. We read the verses, we hear the sermons, we nod in agreement. We say, "Yes, I want to love my neighbor." We mean it with every fiber of our being. And yet, so often, that love remains a thought. It stays a good intention. It lives in our minds and in our prayers, but it never quite makes the journey down to our hands. Why does this happen? Why is there often a gap between what we believe and how we live? First, the idea of love can feel overwhelming. The command to love your neighbor can sound so big. Who is my neighbor? Everyone? The whole world? The problems of the world are so vast. The needs are so great. We see poverty and injustice on the news. We hear about loneliness and despair. When we think about solving these huge problems, we can feel small and powerless. So we do nothing. We become paralyzed by the size of the task. We wait for the perfect opportunity, the grand gesture. And while we wait, the person right next door with a simple, manageable need goes unnoticed. Second, we often mistake our feelings for actions. It feels good to feel compassion. When we see a sad story, our hearts ache. We might say a prayer. We might post a supportive message online. These things are not bad, but they are not the same as doing something. A feeling of sympathy does not put food on a table. A kind thought does not fix a broken fence. We forget that love requires movement. It requires us to get up, to go, to do. It is easy to feel love. It is harder to be loved. Third, we are afraid. This is a quiet reason, one we might not even admit. We are afraid of getting it wrong. We worry about overstepping boundaries. What if they do not want my help? What if I make things awkward? We are afraid of being taken advantage of. What if they ask for too much? We are also afraid of burnout. We have so little time and energy as it is. How can we possibly add one more thing? So, to protect ourselves, we retreat. We keep our love at a safe distance. We wrap it in polite words and good intentions, where it cannot get messy or complicated. The call on our lives is to move beyond the idea of love. It is to step into the practice of love, to make it real, to make it visible. This is an invitation to explore what it means to truly love our neighbor, not in grand, heroic gestures that we might never get the chance to do, but in small, simple, everyday ways that are possible for every single one of us. We will look at 3 practical ways to put love into action. We will also look at a small weekly habit for each one, a challenge, something you can start today, something small enough to do, but big enough to change a life. The first practice is the simplest of all. It is the foundation upon which all other acts of love are built. It is the practice of noticing. To love our neighbor, we must first see our neighbor. We must learn to look past the surface, beyond the polite, "I am fine, how are you?" We live in a world that encourages us to rush, to keep our heads down, to focus on our own to-do lists. This practice asks us to slow down, to lift our heads. Look around you this week. As you walk down your street, really look at the houses. Is there a yard that is overgrown? Perhaps the person inside is elderly or unwell. As you scroll, look for the friend who has gone quiet. Perhaps they are struggling with loneliness or grief. At church, look for the person sitting alone. At work, notice the colleague who seems stressed and overwhelmed. Needs are all around us. They are not usually announced with a megaphone. They are whispered in the small details of life. Once you notice a need, the next step is to choose one. Just one. Do not try to solve every problem you see. That is the path to overwhelm and burnout. Pick one small, specific, manageable need that you can meet this week. Mow that lawn. Send a message to that quiet friend. Invite that person at church to sit with you. Leave a cup of coffee for that colleague. Here is a simple weekly habit you can try. Call it the Sunday Notice. Every Sunday evening, take 5 minutes. Sit with a small piece of paper or a sticky note. Ask yourself, who is one person I can show love to this week? What is one small need I noticed? Write down one name and one small action. Put that note where you will see it every day. Then, make a plan to do that one thing by Wednesday. Just one thing. This simple habit trains your heart to see and your hands to act. The second practice is about the power of consistency. We often think we need something big, a large donation, a huge project, a dramatic rescue, and while those have their place, they are rare. The love that truly transforms communities is often quieter. It is small, it is steady, it is reliable. Think of it like a dripping faucet. One drop is nothing, but over time, those drops can fill a bucket, even a house. This is the practice of giving small, consistent support. A weekly phone call to a grandparent, a Monday text to a struggling friend, a small Saturday treat on a neighbor's porch. The specific act is less important than the consistency of the act. It says, I am here, I see you, you are not forgotten. I will be here again next week. Practice 3. Giving the gift of you. The third practice is about using what you already have. Each one of us has been given unique gifts, skills, and talents. You might be a wonderful baker. You might be great at fixing things. You might explain complicated subjects simply. You might be a patient, compassionate listener. This practice is about offering those specific skills to help someone else, giving not just your time or money, but the unique gift of you. How could you use one skill to bless a neighbor? Teach a simple meal, fix a small repair, help build a resume, sit and listen. Skill-based help affirms dignity and empowers. Teaching someone a skill is a gift that keeps on giving. The difference between giving a fish and teaching to fish. It builds capacity and fosters independence. This week, identify one skill you enjoy: gardening, organizing, playing an instrument, Budgeting. Think of one person who might benefit. Offer them 1 hour. Just 1 hour. You could say, I am great at organizing closets, and I have a free hour on Saturday. Would you like some help with that? Or, I am heading to the garden center. I could pick up flowers for your porch. Use the gift God gave you to be a gift to someone else. Section 8. A story. The power of 1 cup of soup. Sometimes it helps to see these ideas in action, to hear a real story. Because love is not a theory. It is flesh and blood. It is a name and a face. There was a woman named Maria. She lived in a small apartment on the 3rd floor. Her husband had passed away a year before. The people in her building were nice. They would smile, say hello, but everyone was busy. Everyone had their own lives, and Maria felt invisible. Her next-door neighbor was Daniel, a student, always rushing to class or work. His small group at church challenged him to try small, consistent support. He decided that every Tuesday evening, he would do one small thing for Maria. He was not a great cook, but he could make a decent cup of soup from a can.
The first Tuesday, he knocked on her door, held out a steaming mug. Hi, Maria, I made some soup and had extra. I thought you might like some. She was surprised. She invited him in.
He only stayed for 10 minutes, asked about her day, listened about the birds at her window. The next Tuesday, he did it again. And the next, and the next. 1 cup of soup, 10 minutes of conversation, every single week. Slowly, something began to change. Maria smiled more in the hallway, left her door ajar to hear life. She came to the building potluck for the first time in a year, bringing a dish. A few months later, she started a small prayer group with 2 other women. It all started with 1 cup of soup. One small, consistent act of love that told her, you are seen, you matter, you are not alone. Because when love becomes an action, it changes the one who gives it too. Let us begin this journey together. Let us ask the hard questions and seek the simple answers. Let us find a way to make our faith tangible. From saying to showing, from thinking about love to being love in the world. The world is waiting. Our neighbors are waiting. And a deeper, more meaningful faith is waiting for us too, just on the other side of our own front door. So here is the invitation, the challenge. This week, will you join in? Will you be the one to start the ripple on your street? Step 1. Pick one name, one person near you. Step 2. Choose one of the 3 actions. Notice a need. Offer small support. Use a skill. Step 3. Do it. This week. Keep it small. Step 4. Tell one friend what you did. Invite them to take the challenge too. This is how a movement of love begins. Not in a stadium, in a neighborhood. Not with a resolution, with a relationship. How to serve without burning out. As we begin to put love into action, there is a real danger. Burnout. We want to help. We want to serve. But our energy is not limitless. Our time is not infinite. If we are not careful, desire can lead to exhaustion. Loving our neighbor well means loving for the long haul, serving from fullness, not emptiness. First, protect your rhythms of rest and renewal. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Schedule time for rest, for prayer, for things that fill your soul. Keep your Sabbath. Protect family time. Taking care of yourself is not selfish, it is wise. Do not say yes to every need. Learn the holy and powerful word, no. Say no to some good things so you can say yes to the best. Second, be honest about your capacity. Your energy will fluctuate. Some weeks you will have more to give, other weeks less. That is normal. When tired or overwhelmed, let your act of love be small. A 2-sentence text is still an act of love. Do not let guilt drive you. Let grace lead you. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. Trust that it is enough. Third, you are not meant to do this alone. Love is a team sport. Invite others. Organize a meal train. Share the load. Serving in community is more effective and more sustainable. Finally, know your limits and when to refer. You are not a counselor or social worker. If needs are beyond your capacity, serious mental health, addiction, deep financial crisis, help connect to professional help. Know community resources. Have the number for a local food bank and a counseling center. Guiding someone to the right help is a powerful act of love. It protects them. It protects you. Section 10. The vision and the invitation. Now take a moment. Close your eyes and imagine. Imagine a single street, your street. Imagine that in every other house there is one person, just one, and that one person has committed to one small, intentional act of neighbor love each week. In one house, a lawn is being mowed for a single mom. In another, a cup of soup is shared with an elderly widower. Next door, a teen gets help with math. Further down, a new family receives a welcome basket. These are not small things. They are the building blocks of a true community, the threads that weave us together. Small acts, when multiplied, are not small at all. They have the power to change the entire culture of a neighborhood. This is the vision, a faith felt, a justice that starts with kindness, a mercy that is a daily rhythm, a humble walk that listens. This is how the kingdom of God comes near. Not always with a loud bang, but often with a quiet knock on a neighbor's door. It starts with one person. It starts with one act. It starts with you. And it grows from there. The call of Luke 10:27 and Micah 6:8 is not a burden. It is an invitation into a richer, deeper, more meaningful way of life. Start now. Pick up your sticky note. Write down a name. Be the neighbor someone will remember for the rest of their life. Take the weekly challenge and tag 2 people to join. Download the devotional for prompts.